Yes, so I'm going to talk about how to generate income from your council community facilities. I've done the pain points challenges. You've responded on that. So what I hope for you to learn today is actually I'm going to kind of reposition this and start talking about business strategy. Like from the premise of like you're actually running a business and thinking about what is needed to run a business. So all the steps to necessary steps to ensure that you're targeting the right people and you can confidently maximize the revenue potential and get lots of bookings. That's the hope. Why listen to me? I've never had a village hall, town hall, or anything like that, so I'm not entirely qualified. But I have a lot of experience working with businesses and startup businesses. I organise this crazy event every year in Norwich, put a whole bunch of people in the room, and they're challenged to build a business in 2.5 days. And I've been doing that for many years, and I actually got an honorary degree from the University of East Anglia for that. Awarded that because it does a great job in engaging students and professionals in solving local problems, which is often done at that. So but the topic is around marketing a lot today. And I also, along with Jess, lead the marketing efforts here at Scribe. So hopefully I am a little bit qualified. But also, why do we care about this at Scribe? Well, for one, we just have all these awesome buildings out there, which have historic importance to us, architectural significance. They do have a lot of cultural value, and they are expensive also to maintain these amazing buildings. So, you obviously got your preset, but you want to increase your revenue as much as possible so they can maintain these amazing buildings. Otherwise, we're going to lose them. Not only that, these amazing buildings, but they are a sense of community. They're a gathering space for social cohesion. They're good for health and well-being, can be good for economic development, education, support services. There's so much these amazing spaces do offer, just networking, and as part of the community identity in many respects. And they can be a safe space, which is quite difficult these days for youth. It is challenging, and there can be a safe space for youth to hang out. So we love these venues. So I'm going to go through these kind of 5 key points. First, I'm going to kick off on defining your business strategy. And what I'm going to use is this framework called the business model canvas. And it's a good way to think about the different parts of your business you're running, your venues and facilities. And it may look a little bit overwhelming with all those boxes in there, but it's quite simple, really. You think about your council and the facilities you have and any people and partners involved in that, and you're offering a particular service to customers. And basically, this business model canvas can be used for anything. It can be used for Google, Amazon, a fish and chip shop. Everything can fit in these boxes. So on the left-hand side, it's your business and the people running it. On the right-hand side, you've got customers, and you're offering them something. You're exchanging value, and in exchange for that value, you hope that you create a viable business, so you make profit to be able to create a sustainable business. So that's kind of at a simple level. Just Google business model canvas, you'll see it's very popular. So if I was able to fill it out for a traditional village hall, and we're going to iterate on this business model canvas, and we're going to be improving it. And like a very simple model for a village hall, your customer segments, you kind of read it in a bit of a weird way. You kind of start with the customer segments. What's your value proposition to those customers? How do you find them? What relationship do you have with them, and how do you make money out of them? So and I'll go on to the left-hand side. But yes, so traditionally, I would say you may think, I don't know if you do, you may think, well, I've got residents and non-residents, in the local area. And non-residents outside the area. So those are my customer segments. And my value proposition to them is you've got a local venue available to you. It's cheaper than commercial venues. especially if you allow discounts to it and you're supporting your local community if you're using our venue. And normally those customers out there, they find you via a website, or they physically, actually, I should have put that on there, they physically see the building there, and there might be a sign out there saying it's available for hire. So that's how they find your venue. And then traditionally, in terms of the relationship that you might have, it might be phone, so they phone and maybe leave an email, or then leave a message, or they might email you from the website. So that's kind of how the relationship you have, and then they'll be physically when you see them. And then in terms of how you sustain your business, down the bottom, a lot of it is the actual precept. So the taxpayer is, sustaining it actually. So it's not a sustainable business actually, because a lot of the time the fees that you make from your facilities do not cover the costs of running it. So I put it in red there because that's kind of. And the third one is sometimes grants are used to fund the actual venues. So you really want to be in the green. The fees for hiring it are able to sustain it, but predominantly most of the funding comes from the precept or grants. And then on the left-hand side, you've got your internal activities and staff and resources. So you've got to manage the bookings and inquiries and confirmation, do the payment and invoicing, etc., and then the whole maintenance piece around that. So you might have a caretaker and a booking clerk. It might be dedicated, or it might be your side hustle. Let's say if you're a clerk and you don't have a booking clerk, you don't have the luxury to have one. So it's kind of something you manage on the side. And then the costs are maintenance, utility payments and the staff. So that's kind of a simple view. So we're going to iterate on that and improve it. So the first thing you really need to kind of do is really try and understand who your customers are. You need to break that down, because if you just go with residents and non-residents, that doesn't really mean anything to you. So this is kind of the goal of dividing and conquering, segmenting your particular type of customers based on demographics, behavior, geography. Geography is normally quite easy because it's normally local. However, if you have a big venue, and a particular wedding venue, and you do big events, your actual geography may extend far greater than you actually realize that you could possibly hit. So it's kind of, you got to think deeply about, you got to really think about all the attributes that make your customers, what your main target customers. You might already have specific type of customers in your mind. Well, they're actually prospects. They're not customers, because you're thinking about what is your target audience for that prospects. So there's all these people, all these people living around your town or village, and you got to think, who are they? What do they do? What do they need? And that's kind of very important, because then you can target them better in the future. So I had an attempt at doing that. So you've got to think like, you're targeting parents with kids at local primary schools, because why would you want to target them? Because you're thinking about parties and events that they need. It's very common. Parties are a really good market. People, again, birthdays, people reaching particular milestones for their birthdays, any societies and clubs, health and fitness coaches, couples who are engaged to be married, entertainers, local businesses that might need some meeting space for training or general meetings, etc. So straight away, you're already putting better descriptors on the kind of people that you want to target, you are targeting already, or you want to target. And that's kind of a brainstorming exercise for you. You can do it on your own, you can do it with your counselors, you can even discuss it with family members or colleagues or whatever. So straight away, that's way more meaningful, and that's very important when you want to kind of build your channels to attract those particular customer segments. And you'll do a far greater, we could put wrestlers on there, for instance. Anyway, so now it's the channels, and channels are like, how are they going to discover you, or how are you going to find them? What are your main channels? So if you think of something like traditional bricks and mortar, like Tesco, like a supermarket, the main channel is the physical presence of the actual building. So That's how you find it. But if you're a digital business or you have physical space, a common method is you actually, you might have a website, you might do online advertising. There's all, have a mailing list, all kinds of things. So I'm going to talk through some good channels with you that are quite cheap and no-brainers for you to do. So I'm going to do Google, Facebook, and email. I think I'm going to do. I haven't done this talk in a while. So Google is king. So you've got your organic results. I'll go into that. Then I'll go into Google Maps and business listing and paid results. I'm not going to go into paid results. I'm going to focus on organic results in Google Maps. So first off, for people to find you digitally, you have to have a digital destination. So that can be, that can be a traditional website. It could be a Facebook page, a Google Maps listings, which I'll go into. But if you've got a destination, you've got to think about that target audience. So you're thinking about the parents at the local schools wanting to organize parties. You're thinking about yoga instructors want to host their yoga events at your venue. You've got to think about what are your target audience that you've brainstormed. What are they going to type into Google when they're looking? Because unless your description and your title match that, Google will not know about it. It's not it won't magically work out what your venue is for. So you really got to put your mind in the position of your customer segments that you thought about. You're a local business, and you want want some space for training, or business meetings or anything like that. So what would they type in? What would they type in the search engine? You've got to make sure your description matches that. So I'll show some good-ish and bad examples. And not only once, because Google really at the moment really just understands words. So that's the keywords are important. And so I've put in here North Walsham wedding venue here. And I know there's some wedding venues here in North Walsham, but it just comes up with there isn't 50 wedding venues near North Walsham, but it just comes up with some general aggregator results. None of the actual venues are coming up. Trimingham Hall is a good one, actually. They do some nice weddings here. So I love this venue. It's an amazing venue by the sea. So we have a look at that. Not too bad pictures there. It's got a map there. They've got the main information is the emergency direct line. That's very important, I imagine, if you're looking to, I'm being sarcastic. And then you've got it's run by the Village Hall Trust. You've got the address, the charity number, you've got the name of the trustees, you've got the management committee, you've got, then the premises, a little bit of a description on that, and toilets, play area. So Google doesn't know anything about this. Look, it looks like they've got some kind of social group there, got kitchen. So Google doesn't know anything about that. That place is very good for, I've been there. They do concerts in there. They do plays in there. There's been weddings, dog shows, all kinds of things happen at this venue. So if you're typing in, looking for a concert venue or anything like that in this area, this is only up the road, you will not come because Google doesn't know, doesn't know about it. So that's quite a bad example. Why it's not, that's why I was saying, they're leading with the line, the postcode and the emergency direct line. I mean, of what use is that to someone you're thinking about, your target group, your customer segments? They're not going to be Googling emergency direct line for Trimingham Hall. I mean, they're going to be looking for awesome venue to host their awesome events. Sorry, Trimingham Hall. And then there's another local hall. This looks aesthetically a little bit better. It looks a bit more visually appealing and exciting, but again, really nothing on this Village Hall, just an address. So it's pretty poor. But, we got to learn from the professionals like Airbnb, visually appealing, all the information there related to it. So it's very clear and concise. You can book it. You can look at reviews. You can see where it is in Trimingham there. So that has all the right information. So that's a good job obviously hits. And we've got to think like, well, not sharing it, we've got to think like Airbnb. So that's just one. I'll go into a little bit of that later. Show an improvement we've done on Trimmingham Hall, an example. So that's kind of, get the key thing is there. You really need to think about those keywords, about what they're going to be searching. So whatever destination you have, whether it's a website, a Facebook page, or whatever you use, think about those keywords. If you don't have a digital destination, a very easy one to claim is the Google My Maps, My Business. If you haven't claimed your business, you must do it now as soon as possible. So it's very likely that your facilities will already exist on Google Maps. And I don't know if you've ever noticed, you've got this claim this business, and you can claim it so that you can edit it afterwards. So you can put in your descriptions with your keywords. You can put in your opening hours, you can put in a link to a website if you have, you can put in a phone number, etc. When you go through the claims process, they'll basically send you a postcode to that address. They'll send you a code on a postcard to your address, and that, take a few days. And then with that code, you'll plug it in and you'll be able to unlock and have authority over that booking. So that's like a no-brainer. And then if you put all those keywords in, and if you went back to North Horsham wedding venue and you had wedding venues in the Trimmingham listing, then it'll rank high up. So it's easy, and because you're also using Google's facilities and providing extra information. So that's super easy one to do. Moving on. If your listing doesn't exist, you can go and create it. So here's and this is like a good example of North Horsham again, where I live. There's the community centre there, and they do have a listing. But I was also thinking, well, to improve the ranking and SEO, they've got tennis courts here. So you could go in here, right click, and you can see add your business. So you could add a business for the tennis courts on its own because it's physically separate. And then you can use all the keywords directly for that to promote it. So tennis courts in North Horsham. So that's an easy one. So if you have multiple venues, I recommend if they're not existing on Google Maps, go and create them and then put all the descriptions that match your target audience, what they're going to be searched for, what kind of things go on there. And then you greater improve your chances. So if you have football facilities, basketball, you can put it all in there and it'll surface in the Google results, the organic results. They're not the paid results. You don't have to stop there. Obviously, Google's a great business directory, but there's actually other ones that you can claim. Facebook local page, TripAdvisor, Trustpilot, Yelp, Bing Places, not so common, even Apple Maps. There's all these business listings out there that might have your business on it. You can go in there, claim it, and then add your own content specific to what you're doing there. So that's Google. So really recommend you doing that. Facebook is queen. So highly recommend using Facebook. You don't want to, often I recommend, it's good to have your own Facebook page or Facebook group. Facebook groups are better than, you can have both actually, Facebook group and a page, a group, if you want to do that. But first, just go, there's already a bunch of Facebook groups out there, join them. This is where your audience, your customer segments are most likely already in there. So you don't have to go and find them. They're already existing and hanging out on Facebook every day in one of these groups. So this is just an example of around here in North Horsham. We've got, quite a few. We've got the Trimmingham Village Hall groups, 240 members, North Horsham Notice Board, 8.3K members, Sheringham nearby, 4.6. And there's smaller ones, cycling groups, etc. So these are already, I don't know, Evesham, I don't know what that one's in there for, that's nowhere. But anyway, these Facebook groups already exist there, and they're community groups. And because you're a community venue, they'll probably be very open for you to promoting your facilities and venues or events on it. Because it's a community space. It might be a bit more tricky for a commercial business to do it. They might block it from doing it, but certainly you guys as running a community space, your audience is probably all there. And certainly on the North Walsham notice board here, 8.3K members. Our total population here in North Walsham is about 12K. So pretty much the whole of North Walsham's on it. Yeah, and for better or for worse, you know what Facebook groups are like. Yes, so yeah, or you could, you know, build your own community if you wanted to. I recommend maybe not even calling it like the parish council. You know, it's, you know, if you don't have one like the North Walsham community notice board, you could create a notice board yourself. And then, like, in terms of understanding what your community may want, you might have your ideas of events, but you can then also start using those to get ideas from your community. You know, so you brainstorm your customer segments and the activities they might want to do, but actually you can use these channels to get ideas. So here's an example. You could say, particularly around COVID, you know, got any ideas, you know, ask the community, got any ideas to combat loneliness? This is a big problem. We're going to offer venue for 3 months for anyone to try out a group on that. So you can offer like freebies for a while to generate interest and people to experiment with kind of using your facilities. So that's just an idea there. So you could also, if you have a particular post and it gets a lot of engagement, I mean, you should be sharing anything that's actually happening. If you have a really good gig, if you have a good bit of wrestling or whatever, take a video, post it on there, further promotes it. So like Park Run in North Walsham, they'll always be sharing stuff to promote what's happening in the park here. Yeah, so you can share what's happening and further get interest in your facilities. But if anything, if anything that you want to further promote outside the group, you can just, it's quite easy to boost your post. You know, you don't need a lot of budget. It's quite easy now. Facebook might cost £10-20 and you can target your audience within the area, particular age groups, whatever you want. You can play around with that. You will need a Facebook a business account for that, but it's pretty easy to do. So recommend experimenting with that. So moving on, a final channel, email and more email. Email is super cheap and easy to use. You could start building up your own subscriber list. So any of the people that use your venue, you collect their email address. You can have a sign up form. You can use something like MailChimp, which is very good with building email lists and does full consent, GDPR compliant, everything. You don't have to worry about that at all, because they can also unsubscribe at any time. And then you build up that email list of anyone that's used it, or you can just share a sign up, and then you could do a monthly newsletter of what events are happening in your area or you know, promoting anything within it. So you can build that up. So that's an easy one. Or you can do outreach. So you could email the local schools. Like you want to target the parents at schools, you could email the local schools and saying, would you mind sharing this with your parents? Because they often would. My wife used to be the school secretary at a local school. You know, if there was a decent offer in there, they'd likely share it with the parents. You know, if it's a decent offer, discount for that school. Let's say we're going to give this school 10% discount, 25% discount for bookings. Particularly if you've got a quiet month or quiet period and you want to boost some bookings in there, you could do that. So you can reach out to not only the schools, you know, you can Google for local Pilates instructors, trainers, businesses, whatever. You're allowed to email them just to share what's happening and what's available in your facilities. Also use your network, your counselors, friends, you know, just build up that list. And if you get the cadence, the rhythm of a monthly newsletter, that's even better because people will be waiting for it. So I've updated the channels now. So we had a website page. Now you've got more channels. You've got your Google My Business listing. You've got your email lists that you're using. You're creating your monthly newsletter, and you've joined and created Facebook groups. So all this audience, these customer segments now, you're able to find them, or they're able to find you on these channels. And then really it's just a case of experimentation, trying things out to do that. So number 4 is consider the buying experience. A lot of commercial businesses pay a lot of attention to this. Being a bit facetious here, but often we find the experience, and I've personally experienced it, when you want to book a village hall, there will be a phone number and there'll be no one to talk to, obviously because of hours and availability. And I've put a dusty old answer phone there, but yeah, your message will be left on an answer phone and someone will get back to you, in a few days, straight away, or never sometimes, because it's just just because of the availability of people. But if you do get through to someone, sometimes it's kind of, you might have to sign a contract. There's lots of rules and regulation, rules about using it. And it's quite high touch and a lot of barriers to doing it. So, and it won't help. We do experience this if you have a grumpy booking clerk asking lots of questions. It doesn't help. You got to put on, you're running a business. You're running a business. You want to have great customer service, make it frictionless for customers to book. So you've got to make it really easy. I've got this picture of this mum, she's in our target group. She wants to organize a birthday party. She doesn't have even time, to call in the day. She's got a bit of time while her boy's playing nicely. She just needs to look up availability of venues and book something straight away. That's what she wants to do. That's what we're used to doing when we even book whole holidays, booking a hotel room, booking B&Bs, booking commercial rooms. Our experience as consumers these days is very good. You're able to do it while you're sitting there on your mobile phone booking it. So customers must be able to research your venue online, review key information, review the services, check availability, see some simple pricing. Sometimes because we have our own booking software, which I'll show you a little bit in a minute, we have a lot of customers, when they join us, they have really complicated pricing structures, which is, again, adds more friction to the buying experience. You really want simple pricing and the ability to book and pay. I'm still going on this slide. So this is kind of all, like I say, related to the customer journey. So you want to extend it beyond like that initial interaction, that booking. You want to think about the full customer journey. So here's an example of a hotel guest where they're really thinking about the whole initial reviewing, discovering, getting inspiration, doing the research, seeing good photos, seeing what happens there, doing the booking, having some pre-arrival information to them, before, a day before or 2 days before, then arriving there, having the stay, then checking out, and then review and post stay. So all this is like a full customer journey of it. And if you really focus on this, then you think about the whole experience. It's not just about the booking. Just try and do your best to provide a consistent professional customer experience and improve certain areas for that. And, having tasks and reminders for caretakers so that they're informed, etc. So I will, we've been making improvements. We've been trying to help councils make improvements to how they manage their facilities, venue hire and cemeteries, allotments, accounts, etc. So I'll just give you a little demo here. So this is like, we've got a made up town council here. It's got a whole bunch of venues on there. I've got I've got Ocean Hall here, which is the Trimmingham Hall in there. Got a whole bunch of pictures there, and you can see the key information of it. And I click through, and it's a dedicated page there, so you can see it makes it look a lot more better. Everything going on there, all the nice photos. You think, oh yes, I found these photos just online. They're not even on their own web page. And you can think, oh, that looks like a nice venue. Lots going on there, so it's very some dog shows there. Got a video here which shows off the local area, which looks pretty awesome, as you can see. So that makes it visually appealing. Google have got all their information around what kind of things go on there: music practice, meetings, weddings, sports and fitness society. So Google understand that. The buyer also see the location and, you know, what facilities, additional services are available, calendar view, and then all the ratings and reviews. You know, so this is all really easy to create in our software. And then, you know, you can go ahead and make a booking. I'll go in there and do that. Oh, I've got to type all this out. John Fagan, Scribe accounts.com 076 13 10 22. Is this? Oh yeah, cool. There we go. 91 Monday. I'm just giving away my address and everything. It doesn't matter, does it? There we go. And phone number. Party, pubs, you know, so make the booking. So I've made it what that took me 30 seconds to do. Very good experience. And this also works very nicely on mobile. If I collapse it like that, you can see it. So it's looks pleasant on mobile. So I don't know if you heard that ping. Did you hear that ping? So I've had a text message straight away there, or you can't see it there. Yeah, right. Yeah, to about my booking. So that's a great experience. You know, like already getting experience. As soon as I hit that button to book it, I get an SMS. Probably if I go to my email now, I can see it there. There it is, bookings made. So yeah, I'm confident. That's a good customer experience. And then you as the booking clerk, you can go in to the back office. I see the bookings there. I see the Ocean Hall booking there made. It's provisional status. I have a look at it. Now, you know, see what they've done. See this party, etc. I could, and then I can approve that. I could actually I could confirm it, but I won't do that. I'll do it in one go. So I'll send it to accounts to create the invoice. I'll do that there. So the invoice is created. There it is. And then I can email that to myself, to John Fagan, send that through. And I can go back into bookings and it's all ready to go. It hasn't not paid yet. It's still outstanding. Actually, if I want to, I could actually go through into invoicing. Oh, not batch sales, and then I can convert that to go into detailed and convert that to receipt. Actually, so that'll be paid now. And I should get an email as well saying it's paid. Yeah, there we go. And yeah, I'll come back. If I go back into bookings.
I think you got the wrong invoice there, John, so it won't update.
Oh, okay, no worries. I'll just go back here. Yeah, so it's all, yes, you get the full workflow there. And then also, yeah, all the setup, like you got your venues in here. So, you know, you can create all the information, very easy to do, hours, photos, everything. You can set a, you know, new main picture, whatever you want to do. Yeah, so that's makes it easy. It creates a great experience for the customers. So you think about that customer journey. There'll be reminder emails, etc., sent. You know, so these are all the things you can do with it. So you can also do block bookings, etc. Anyway, so moving on. So we've improved the customer relationship. So previously we just had phone and email. Now we've got online bookings and payments. You can email them maybe for block bookings, phone for bigger events, and then the automated reminders via email and SMS. So a day before the booking is made, the customers can get a reminder related to that. So we've got our customer segments defined, we've got our channels, we know how to reach them, and when they do engage with us, our relationship there, they've got online booking and payments if they want to use that, and you know, much better relationships. So we've got the full customer journey in. And finally, you just got to kind of iterate on and improve on that. So this is grow your business. So I've went a little bit wild here, so there's a lot of blue on it, but I think the key thing to look at in value proposition has changed. Now it's no longer a key thing I've done is moved some of those customer segments over to here to key partners, so they're now actually partners. Catering, DJ, comedians, bands, street food, local health and fitness businesses, they're now key partners of yours, because you've turned yourself into an entertainment venue. So that's the value proposition. You're no longer just a local venue that is cheap. You are a destination for entertainment. And it certainly sounds like some of the ideas spoken about at the beginning of the webinar, you guys are entertainment venues, and it sounds like really good. So you are a community asset. You're a way where the community can go to get entertained. You can have your public parties, private functions. There's weekly health and fitness things happening at your venue. There's clubs and societies happening there. Catering and entertainment can be provided. So all this audience might actually expand. All the things you can provide them. You can even do full service events, and you can also hire the venue, etc. So now you can hire you're increasing your income, and because it's getting so popular, more people are attracted to it, more businesses, more partners, more volunteers, actually, because there's a lot going on. The audience expand. You now got an events manager, not just a booking clerk. You've got your volunteers. You're turning in more into an events space. And now your revenue streams, it's now sustainable business, not based on just precept and grants. You get your fees as you did before. Now you get commissions from your partners. Like if you want to do street food, for instance, in your local car park, you're doing events management. So not only you've got all these value added service, you're getting the hiring fee, but you're getting commissions for partners, events management fee, and all these other things. So that's about it. These were the 5 sort of tips I did. Feel free to share what was most helpful to you. Share it in the chat there in terms of those 5 areas. Be interesting to know. And also we do have I'll share this, a marketing checklist. I'll just drop that in there. You can download that. Cool. I think, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it, and feel free to ask any questions.